Today,
March 27th, 2016, Wikispeed, Lynnwood, Washington, United States shop, William D. Newing. Sir.
yes, today we accomplished buttoning up the 007 car with the rear vertical actuator for the transmission shifting. We prevented and checked the leaks for the transmission and the brakes, and we're able to actually take it out and drive it around. That was fun and awesome. We noticed a few more impediments that arose from that testing, so we'll be addressing some of those in the next few iterations and weeks and sprints. And what we can recommend for people who are doing the same around the world is make sure that it's not raining outside, or at least it's somewhat dry. Clear your path, and when you're shifting the car into certain gears, look around for your fellow workers or even any individuals, or might possibly pets or rodents around. Don't want to crush them or run them over. That's just another problem to have to arise and address. So that's what we recommend, and have a good pair of coveralls. That really came in handy. It was great.
Exactly as Dr. Newing stated, the car is powerful enough that it'll spit out gravel or water if it's going through a puddle. So make sure people are clear so that rocks aren't thrown at them from the wheels, because the car shot some rooster tails, which was a whole lot of fun, but could be an issue. Here's what we came up with. Today, 327, passenger front bolt tighten. William, which bolt was this?
That was the camber bolt.
Oh, the strut top mount bolt.
Correct.
Yep, so that happened. Then shifter cable reassemble, no gap. William did that. That's the linear actuator for the shifter to shift into gears on the back of the car. Then we couldn't find our wheel lock key, so I found one and then ordered 2 more from Amazon. The wheels we use, to be extremely lightweight, use a very narrow lug nut, and it requires a lug nut adapter, sometimes called a tuner lug nut, to remove. Then test fix possible broken leakage. What was that?
Brake leakage, sorry.
Oh, right. So William went across all the brake line fittings, and in this case disconnected any that hadn't already been and wrapped them in Teflon tape and retightened them back up to spec and verified under pressure they weren't leaking. Then we have a brake lock. This moved to done. You checked it out? It seems like our passenger side rear wheel might have seized.
Correct.
What was up?
It probably just because from the transmission and not enough wear of the rubbing between the brake pads and the rotor. That's what I'm guessing, and I think that should be good.
Oh, broke loose?
Broke loose, yeah, correct. If it rises again as far as the braking and do another test as far as riding up and down the driveway and whatnot, then possibly that we'll need to bleed the brakes once more. So they were bled, I believe, about a few months ago, so it should be all right. But this is a prototype, so we shall see if that arises.
Totally. And worst case, it's an excuse to get 6-piston Brembos. Ordered 2 more lug keys, and then a cardboard template for flat tie rod ends on car 8. I just did that. I'll show that quickly. Here is car 8 with suspension version V31 attached. With this prototype tie rod end, under full steering, we actually have rubbing. So a solution is to attach these 2006 Honda Civic tie rods that have a gap. And that actually may work. But buying these, I'd rather be able to make our own open source. So I traced onto cardboard the critical piece and then extended it the amount that would be optimum for the tire width we're using here. And it's actually perfect. So now I have this to measure from, and I'll make a CAD and then have it water jet cut and prototype it like the remainder of our parts. Meanwhile, William is currently in progress on a rear engine mount plate. He's also mocking one up out of cardboard, and that is, you can just barely see it here, that guy, that rubber disc thing sitting right there at the tip of my finger, is the rear transmission mount that holds the engine from it torquing by twisting forward and back. It prevents that by holding it just front and back. It doesn't need any strength this way. That's our 2 upper mounts. And he's tracing that, to be continued. And that's what we've got for today with William and I in the shop. Thanks, William.
Thank you, Doc.